Society is defined as a highly structured system of human organization for large-scale community living that normally furnishes protection, continuity, security, and a national identity for its members. So essentially, we have a highly structured system of human organization that basically furnishes protection and stability for its members. Can we agree on that as a good foundation for understanding the purpose of a society and that it is a highly structured system? Because many have argued that no system at all would be preferable. But everything in the natural world operates in different kinds of systems. Yet these people think human beings are exempt from organizing into systematic structures? That sounds more like a recipe for complete chaos in a world already descending into chaos because of an evil system designed to break us from the beginning and whose creators operate under the motto of order out of chaos. The problem isn't systems. The problem is who designed the one in which we're all currently trapped. The root of all that is wrong in the world today is that the highly structured systems of organization under which we all live were created by people who wanted to control and enslave us, not to leave us alone, allow us to have free will, and achieve our full potential in life. And therein lies the problem with the system running the world today. It is a broken system from our perspective, those who want to be free to live our lives in peace and without coercion or oppression, but a very well-functioning system for those who want to control and dominate us. There is a massive difference between those two perspectives, am I right? Catherine Austin Fitts refers to this as the central banking warfare model, and author Betty Lim calls it the BAU or business as usual model. Either way, the current system is unfit for human freedom and is only moving us in the direction of more and more authoritarian control over our lives. This must be stopped and abolished for humanity to ever be free. So let's talk about a system that would emancipate all of humanity, create abundance, and truly allow everyone to express the full essence of their being and purpose, and allow the world and all ecosystems to heal in the process. Let's face it, everyone needs something to do in life. Everyone has a gift to discover and share with the world. Everyone must contribute in one way or another for society to run smoothly and not be a burden on others. This is essentially the seed of all economic activity and the lifeblood of every well-functioning society. What has happened over the past 500 years or so with the rise of the central banking warfare BAU model has been the root of undoing this essentially simple equation for peaceful societies. And the primary tool that has been used to degenerate society into what it's become today is the debauching of the monetary systems of the world. By attaching debt and speculative markets to monetary systems and perfecting the pseudoscientific alchemical model of creating value out of nothing and charging interest on that phantom money, the criminal class of the world has stolen untold trillions in wealth from the productive capacity of the good people of this world for their own selfish and evil ends. And now people are doing in the digital space via cryptocurrencies, falsely believing that it is their path to freedom and legitimate fortunes. It is neither, because it too violates the maxims of natural law. An honest, open, and truly free market economic system, along with an honest monetary supply that fully represents the energy input and output of each individual, a structure to ensure it operates with integrity and within the laws of nature, a system to remove and reform those from society who can't seem to get along, and the management of mutually beneficial public infrastructure to aid in the ease of transportation of people, goods, and services are vital to a well-functioning society that operates with honor and integrity. In a natural law republic, this is the sole responsibility and purpose of the public service administrations, which is the replacement for all forms of current government, an archaic and completely failed system of top-down command and control societal management. It is well past time for a complete overhaul and dismantling of all legacy systems which have only furthered the enslavement of humanity, not our ascension to higher consciousness and living in harmony with nature, as we were supposed to do as stewards of this world. And we can do it if people get their minds right and accept that we have the power and responsibility to do so. There is virtually no way we can fail at this worthy endeavor. We really don't have any other option than to do it, or we will all surely descend into tyranny together. It is this understanding, which I came to over 12 years ago, that spurred me into all that I have done since. I started by putting all I had learned into a book, which turned into a trilogy that I ultimately shelved in 2019 to focus on starting a business. When the world was forcefully shut down over a massive lie in 2020, I knew I had to reactivate and share what I had learned all of those years. So I ended up putting the most important parts of the research for my book into the Freedom Project 2020 website from June through November of that year, and putting my business on hold as well. In December, I began working on what I know, without any doubt in my mind, to be the only truly viable solution that would solve all of the most pressing issues and problems in the world in one fell swoop. I call it the Natural Law Republic. And I say so with such conviction because if we can build the critical mass to implement this new form of social order, all power would be restored to the people, and no one would have any illegitimate force to impose their will upon others ever again. Essentially, what a natural law republic would authorize, from the millions of people signatory to the new Constitution themselves, and as I explained in part 3 of the series, is a public service administration which would be responsible for maintaining an honest monetary and economic system, operating a court system for everyone to settle disputes based fully in natural and common law, in addition to abolishing the bar and all maritime and admiralty law, and the maintenance of all public commons and infrastructure which are beneficial to each and every member of the society and nation. Everything else would be left up to the free market for people to decide what they want from society. It is actually the perfection of democracy because we completely remove elected representation and allow people to vote every single day with where they direct their energy and what they decide should stay and what should go. What we're told is democracy is actually a perversion of a truly free market system of not only goods and services, but ideas as well. What we've been sold as democracy has become a perverted form of social order, which is an odd combination of plutocracy, oligarchy, authoritarianism, communism, communitarianism, corporatocracy, and more than anything, if you really look deeply at those in charge, the world is run in virtually every nation by a kakistocracy, or ruled by the very worst people and elements of society. And to change that will take a massive commitment on behalf of millions of people to change it. In the past, it's been said that only 3.5% of the population is necessary to effect the desired change of a society. But I am being much more conservative in my estimates of what will be required to achieve the critical mass we'll need. By essentially tripling that percentage to 10%, I feel that we would have more than enough people to not only create this new reality, but make it so popular that the remaining percentage of holdouts would flock to the new model within mere months, thus finally starving the predator class and all of their delusions of grandeur and plans for enslavement dead on arrival and completely obsolete. This is how we reclaim our power. This is how we win the war on humanity. We must unite and all move in one common direction, which gives each and every one of us the lives and power to do as we want in peace and without fear of repercussion, oppression, or coercion from all illegitimate authority figures ever again. That is exactly what the Natural Law Republic guarantees for all. So getting back to the 3 vital elements of a well-functioning society, I will now briefly go over them so you can better understand how a natural law republic would operate and how it would be self-correcting to maintain a perpetual balance with the laws of nature or the Creator, whichever you prefer. They are one and the same, no matter your religious affiliations or beliefs. A well-functioning society should first and foremost enable and empower each and every individual to thrive and find their own purpose and meaning in life. All collectivist ideologies, including democratic republics, put the community, the state, or national security above the interests and needs of the individual. And that's what leads to the authoritarianism we see rampant throughout the world today. It is my firm belief that empowered individuals will become the quality of people who make strong communities, and not vice versa, as we're told by every leftist and statist ideologue out there who has everything backwards and inverted. It's the same ideology that's gotten us to this point in the first place, and that must also be suppressed. You don't force people to be good. You encourage and educate them so that they want to be good. Strong societies are made up of strong individuals who set a good example, not power-hungry leaders and authoritarian structures imposing their will on the world via the threat of violence. By allowing people to be completely free, we will all grow stronger as families, communities, cities, states, and nations. But we must put the correct education of the individual first and foremost as a primary foundation. Thus, it is imperative to create a system and structure that enables that and stops the insanity which has crippled all of human society worldwide. The collectivist model, including dumbocracy, is a failed institution and must be abolished if we ever hope to have a world of freedom. What I have proposed in my natural law republic puts the individual first and provides a solid foundation for a true trivium and liberal arts-based education and an open free market system in which everyone would thrive in abundance. Many more details about this educational model can be found in my videos, documentation, and website. Next, we must talk about money. It's been said that money makes the world go round, and in a sense, money does allow for economic systems to operate with ease. But the problem with money is what it's become and what's been done with the idea of money. Because what we understand as money is not at all what it is supposed to represent. And once we have changed our perception of what it is and how it is to be used, we can come to a greater understanding of how it has been used to enslave and not enable us to achieve our full potential in life as we freely choose to do. Money is and should only be representative of energy, period. Everything everyone does in life is a form of exerted energy, whether it be physical or mental. We are all burning energy, and we need to replenish that energy constantly. So we live in a feedback loop of the constant flow of energy. When we earn money for energy expended, someone else gives us their money from energy they expended, and so on and so on. It is and should always remain nothing more than the representation of shared energy. Any honest monetary and economic system should be based on this primary function of natural law, and any system that violates this maxim is going to end up in the state of gross wealth inequality we see throughout the world today. And again, it was designed to be exactly this way by the criminal predator class who put this BAU model into place, and has remained the status quo for centuries. Thus, the natural law republic will operate on a monetary and economic system that honors the exchange of energy between individuals and or businesses. What can't happen in a natural law republic is for debt or speculation to be tied to the money supply. It must solely be representative of the entirety of the society's gross domestic productivity, plus 10% to allow for ease of growth. And in the case of a decline of economic activity, the money supply would be contracted to allow for the value to remain static. In this system, there essentially should be no inflation, as the markets would set the value of everything via the natural laws of supply and demand. There would be no money markets with the absurdity of competing currencies and speculation, because that too is a violation of natural law, and again allows for gross inequalities and wealth to occur. These two mechanisms, debt and speculation, are the primary devices that have allowed the rich to get richer and the poor to get poorer over the generations. And if we ever hope to be set free of this false paradigm, the perception and use of money must be completely changed. I will be getting into much more detail about money and a natural law republic in future blogs, videos, and podcast interviews. For those who can't seem to get along and follow the 4 basic maxims of natural law as defined in the new Constitution, we need to have a system of reform and reparations to make victims whole once they have been harmed by another individual or business. As with everything else in a natural law republic, the system will be very simple, and I have covered in more detail how the system would operate in other videos and documentation as well. But the common law court system would be maintained and operated by the public service administrations and would be available to every sovereign in the society to use for the settlement of disputes and crimes committed so that no one ever has an excuse to resort to violence. To ensure that all of this operates smoothly, efficiently, and within the constraints of natural law, the public service administrations would be instituted and staffed with individuals who have proven their knowledge of many subjects related to philosophy, critical thinking, history, ethics, and natural law. Anyone who can't prove their knowledge in these areas would not be allowed to become a member of the public service administrations, but everyone in society would always be recognized as individual sovereigns. This is the only way to ensure that this new system is never infiltrated or hijacked by those whom have taken over the reins of power in the past around the world for selfish and nefarious means. Everyone in society would be encouraged and invited to join the ranks of this class, as it only makes for a more enlightened population, and the curriculum required to learn the knowledge to pass the PSA test will be available for free online for every member of society. So there can be no excuses as to why people don't have access to this information. It is very much designed to be a meritocracy, in which Martin Luther King's dream of a world based on the content of one's character is the only factor, in addition to competency, in determining one's value in certain positions of responsibility at any level of society. So there you have it in a nutshell. As I've said, more details about all I've talked about in this video blog series are available across all 3 video series I have already created, as well as the Freedom Project 2020 website. But essentially, the 3 vital parts of a well-functioning society are an honest and fair free market economic system, an honest and fair reform and reparation court system, and a structure in place to ensure that everything operates in line with natural law, and people treat one another with respect and civility. That is what the Natural Law Republic offers for all of humanity, and dissolves all that is wrong in the world in the process, because it can be implemented in every single nation. All things not efficiently handled in a free market system for one reason or another, for example roadways, would be the responsibility of the PSA, and a system to pay for them would be instituted in a fair manner to ensure that everyone only pays for what they use and no more. By applying natural law to every problem in civilization, we can arrive at the only self-evident and viable solutions to everything, and this world will finally find the necessary balance in which everyone can abundantly thrive while protecting the natural ecosystems as well. The reason I titled this blog series Emancipation Proclamation 2.022 is because it is our new proclamation as a people united that we are emancipating ourselves from the grips of illegitimate government once and for all. You see, the original proclamation was from government, claiming to free the slaves, or essentially a certain sector of society. But the constitutional amendments which came from the Emancipation Proclamation didn't actually free anyone. They enslaved an entire population by making everyone citizens to an already captured government, which had been hijacked from behind the scenes by the banks and robber barons over a matter of 2 generations. While most of the people in the world look at the original as a great document in American history, and it was for the purpose of stating that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are, and henceforward shall be free, it's not what most people think it is, or understand the consequences of believing that government actually freed anyone, because they didn't. The 13th and 14th Amendments to the Constitution, which came from this proclamation, essentially created a new class of person, the citizen debt slave, and the predator banking class have reaped the benefits of this deception ever since. So, Emancipation Proclamation 2.0 is an inversion of the original in the fact that we, the people, are not asking permission from anyone, but we, the people, are proclaiming our emancipation from the entire system of government in total. This is true emancipation and not permission from an illegitimate authority as to who is and isn't allowed to be free. Because we are all free. We were born that way and we will die that way. But in between, we have all been enslaved by a system designed to use us and our energy to enrich itself and those who truly control the system. In a natural law republic, all control will be in the hands of the people. Period. I sincerely hope this video blog series has allowed you to see the potential of what we could achieve once we unite behind this common idea of natural law being the one solution for all of our collective problems. And I hope it motivates you to go and look at the entirety of my work to better understand what the world could look like and how we can get there in a rather short period of time compared to the amount of time it took to get us into this mess. Because as far as I've been able to find, I am the only person in the world proposing these ideas and the solutions that would empower and help every single individual of our human race. This idea is about all of us working together to create something that would heal the world and the human condition. And I can't think of anything more worthy than that on which to spend your free time as the world descends further and further into chaos and despotism by the day. Time is not on our side, so we need to make the most of the resources we have at our disposal now before they are taken away. Download and save my videos. Download and save the documentation I have created for the structure of the Natural Law Republic. This is a proposal that decentralizes power to each and every individual in this world, and that power comes from our knowledge and understanding of our inherent rights, responsibilities, and the individual sovereignty granted by our Creator. Thank you again so much for listening and caring about our future. To keep up on what is happening with this project, you can follow me on Facebook, subscribe to my video channels, and sign up for my email list. We need to start building the critical mass in America to 32 million people as soon as humanly possible. And everyone learning and sharing this information will be helping to add to that number. The sooner we get there, the better off we will all be. And the sooner we can begin to live our lives the way John F. Kennedy once said was the most powerful single force in the world today, which is man's eternal desire to be free and independent. I love you all, and stay tuned for much, much more to come. The future is ours to decide and create.